Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I go by Innate, and I'm going to be doing a little pick a card reading for you guys. And the theme here is to hopefully tap into a message. The intention rather is to tap into a message from our spirit guides, from the etheric realms. This might be an ancestor to you, a totem animal, a more surreal sort of spirit guide, your guardian angel, whatever you would like to tap into, whatever your belief system is. If you want to just be open, that would be cool too. But I'm essentially going to be making 3 piles so that you can pick what is the message. All right, so I'm just going to shuffle. I'm using the Holly Simple Fuzzy Prism Oracle deck. And I'm cutting, and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. A lot of individuals right now have communicated or expressed through, working with them or whatever. I've had conversations with a few people recently, is a better way to say that, in which they've brought up shadow work and that they're in the process of shadow work or doing something. I just thought I would mention that because you might be in that position too. And we have, if you're watching this in real time, a Scorpio full moon coming up this weekend. Transformation, but very shadowy as well. Or an opportunity to work with the shadow, to integrate. All right, and these are the Earth Magic Oracle deck. And I'm going to pull 2 from here for each. 1, 2, 3, and then again 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now the Mystic Mondays Tarot deck. I don't know if you can see, but I do have a candle burning, some incense, some spray, and a crystal here. We've got our elements, our directions. Just asking for some messages that our spirit guides are trying to tell us or would like us to know or feel that we would benefit from. Alright, and we're going to pull 3 from this one. So I like to cut it. And I'm so sorry for that noise in the background. It's the heater. I have a client coming in an hour, and I came in this morning and it was freezing in here, and I don't want her to freeze. So it has to be on right now to warm up the place a little, like crazy cold. All right, then I'm going to pick a couple stones. Okay, pretty chill stones. So Pile 1 is a chrysoprase, pile 2 is a rainbow moonstone or white labradorite, and pile 3 is a piece of lepidolite. We'll see if that comes into play at all. But alright, so here's your chance to take a look. We have chrysoprase for pile 1, rainbow moonstone or white labradorite for pile 2, and lepidolite for pile 3. 1, 2, 3. You choose. And there's the heater in the corner making that noise. Okay, awesome. So let's go with 1 first. Chrysoprase is an excellent heart healer, just to mention. All right, so we have the universe, tsunami, wake-up call, fairies, earth magic, and then we have the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Emperor in reverse, and the Hanged Woman. All right. So let's pay attention to the, kind of called in by these colors here. All right. So the message is, the spirit guides are asking you to be done with doing things on your own. I don't know. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm getting all this. Essentially, there's a new time coming for you, a new cycle. It's just started. And instead of navigating through the darkness with only a little bit of information, there's something to be said here about asking for help, asking for opinions, not in a way where we're letting other people decide things for us or we're swayed necessarily, but there's some piece of information that you haven't allowed to be revealed yet, or you haven't taken it in, you haven't utilized it. And this card suggests that the encouragement is to bring that in, to be open, to be more aware of the conversations that you're hearing other people talk about, or mentorship even comes up. The Emperor in reverse. There might be a man in your life or a masculine figure, predominantly masculine energy, that it feels like you've tried to please, or it could even just be the patriarchal kind of system. And while there's certainly a need to redevelop that system or rework something like that, there's something from that system that you're not utilizing. There's something in the established system of patriarchal establishment that is the key to what you've been missing. It's like when our dads or our parents have good advice, but we don't listen to them because what the heck do they know kind of thing, you know? It will be adapted, but we've been rejecting it. You know, your spirit guides are saying that you've been rejecting it. This could be a teacher. This could be someone of authority, or someone who you felt had authority, or again, just the system in general. And the Hanged Man, the Hanged Woman, which is funny because she's upside down and so are all the other ones, even though this card is not reversed. It's asking you to find the balance, to trust that there is a balance there, to be a little more open, to be a little more listening. Not that you want to agree with it necessarily, that's not really the message here, but there's something that you've rejected. Again, teacher, knowledge, a way of doing things that you've blocked in some way, and it's time to bring that in, and you will find out how to do that through some kind of meditation, taking a break, looking at things from this new perspective. The two oracle cards from the Earth Magic deck. Tsunami, Wake Up Call, and Earth Magic, Fairies. I think of, it might be tied to the full moon is when you're going to get this wake up call. It might feel quite emotional. It might feel like it stirred up a lot of the sediment of your lake that's been kind of chilled out and not a lot of movement in it, in a different spot, facet of your emotional ties. And the Earth Magic guidance, I don't know if you guys are actually into fairies, but the elements, working with the elements, bringing more magic. It's asking essentially for this like magic to come in, whether that's the magic of meditation and the shifting of perspective, being that aware in a magical state, actually working with earth magic and, I want to say a bit more shamanic. And then we have the universe. So there's a real opportunity here for you to take some kind of maybe outdated way of thinking or system or way of doing things that you can bring in, transform, and have just a better perspective, even if it's just for your own awareness and knowledge. I'm a little thrown by the Earth Magic one. Not that it, it's confusing, but it doesn't exactly fit in as clearly as the other ones. This might be something, it does feel quite emotional, like you're going to have an experience around the time of the full moon, or just related to your emotions, or just related to your subconscious if it's not tied to the full moon, where something's really going to come to the surface. And it might reawaken something that you were interested in or had an attachment to in your childhood that will come up for you, that perhaps you will reclaim, perhaps you will start working with again. Like the children of the earth realm, The universe is just a card that reminds us that we're not in a box, There are rules, there are limitations, there are things that we have to go by here because that is the nature of this realm, the earth realm, 3D. But it's not three-dimensional entirely. There's a lot more to it. However, with this card, and because of the drawing on it, I do feel like it's asking for us to focus on 3D. There's something that perhaps we just didn't want to face in 3D or we've rejected, and probably for good reason. This might be an ex. This might be someone you've dated, and it was hard for you to see that they were bringing your shadow into the light or holding up the mirror for you. Not because, it was all that pleasant to do, but because it's something you needed to see. There's something in 3D, the 3D reality, the limitations that needs to be mastered still, that needs to be implemented. All right. It might be working with the earth, it might be elemental, and it might be childlike. All right, so that's what we're going to go with for there. Then we have pile two. So these go here. Let me move all this stuff. Sorry. It's tricky. Okay, so this was white Labradorite or rainbow moonstone. Very feminine, soft, nurturing, dreamlike. The oracle card is energy. We have the lotus flower and unfoldment, and tree and grounding as our other two. And then over here, okay. All right, so what are your guides trying to tell you? or at least one of them. We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse, which to me speaks of some kind of reorganization. Reorganization of your material life. Something's going on where you can't deny it. There's a time of change, and it's material, it's physical, it's moving, it's a new job, it's a different way of life in some way. The Knight of Cups in reverse. Suggests a little bit of, we've been half-assing it, I want to say. You may have been playing with someone's emotions, getting your emotions played with in some way. It's a desire for some kind of emotional journey, if I can say it that way. But it hasn't been, again, wow, the cards are like tough today, aren't they? Like tough reads. Okay, so there's a restructural going on where like up is down and down is up in the material realm for you. Moving, relationships, money, how you make your money, something is up. We're definitely eager to get started. We're definitely eager to bring something into this which has more of a soul. It's like a restructure for the purpose of soul development or soul fulfillment. But but there's something half-assed going on about it. It's like you're tricking yourself into believing that you can fake it or something. And what I mean by that is, like, let me give you an example. If we thought, right, that making a lot of money was bad in some way, or unwarranted, or unfair, right? Something like that. But we knew that we couldn't think that, because then how would we manifest? And first of all, like, what's real in that? What's real there, right? So we've made the picture a little more bigger. We've given it a little more soul. It's not that I want all this money. I want this money so I can do something bigger, better. I can reach more people. I can start a trust fund for, not a trust fund, a scholarship fund of some kind, or some kind of charity. Like, the elements are forming to give the need for the money more footing, more magnetism. But there's something still of your emotions that you haven't tapped into yet. And that's what I mean, it's half-assed. It sounds like a good idea, but is it really tied to your authentic desires and what really touches you on emotional levels? Or is this a little bit of face value? So this is essentially asking to tie in more of your soul, your emotional connection to whatever you're restructuring. And make sure you're not missing that at all, because that's where the real beauty lies, right? In that really soul-based reason of why we're doing these things. Why am I making these videos? You know, like, is it to grow my AdSense? Yeah, that would be nice. But if AdSense went away tomorrow, would I still keep doing them? I probably would, you know, because the mission is more of to provide a service more than the AdSense necessarily. And of course, I trust that what I give comes back, you know, like it's not for that, but I know that the universe holds a balance and wouldn't let me, you know, just spin my wheels essentially. And then the last card here is the World. The last of the tarot. The World, cycles, harmony, cosmic dance, trust, rhythms, completion, having everything. And it's funny too, because like with this card, it looks kind of like an atom. So like even if it was upside down, which it wasn't, but it's always going to have the same look to it, you know? So you're going to have everything if you could just tie in something a little more emotionally vulnerable even to what you're working on building, to this new development. All right, then we have tree and grounding, which speaks to me right now just from the picture of the shadow as well, and knowing that we have to integrate all of these aspects of ourselves. The emotional, if that's seen as a weakness, if that's been cast into the shadow because it's a weakness of some kind, we have to bring it in and integrate it. Lotus flower, unfoldment, revealing, layer after layer after layer, different and unique facet. Going through the mud, you know, up through the water to bloom on these beautiful bodies of water. It's asking you to honor that you are multifaceted, that you are emotional, that you have deep roots, and you go through a lot. And it's not to experiencing and validating those emotions is not it's not feeding into weakness, it's empowerment. And then the Oracle card deck, the Fuzzy Prism deck, energy. You will be whole. That is how we become whole. We honor that we are both light and dark, cosmic and material, yin and yang, feminine and masculine. So if you've had any weakness in your energetic system, or you felt out of whack at all, or even if you don't notice yet, but you start to get a stomach ache or indigestion kind of problems, or nervous, twitching, like twitchy leg, restless leg syndrome, just to know, be mindful for those. And you're going to need to bring in your emotional tie to support what you're working on. All right, and now lepidolite, pile 3. Doing good. Okay. Sorry for the lighting. I left some of my lights at home on accident. Well, not the lights, but the chargers for them. Okay. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. So it's so funny how these ended up working out. The first of the tarot has always been in reverse, which is funny to me. All right. So what your guides want to talk to you about, pile 3, is they see that you are dividing your resources, you're dividing your creative potential, you're kind of cut in two energetically in terms of you're feeding this, but you're feeding that, and they're both kind of growing, but you could be so much more effective when we really focus on one thing at a time. Now, you know, in this day and age, that's quite difficult, right? But the reminder that they want to talk to you about is that you have every tool. The magician, you have every tool at your disposal. And there are ways for you to develop, maybe through some practice of magic or meditation or journaling or energy work or building crystal grids. There's something you can do that will lend a hand to one of the pots that you have cooking, where you can focus on the seasoning and the actual cooking of the other pot and let this one just be and kind of like take care of itself for a little while. Whether that means if you're working to manifest two things, let's say, we'll use this example. They're telling you that you're going to be much more effective if you just focus on one of them, but they want you to remember that there's other things you can do. You can delegate some of your work. You can delegate what you're looking to manifest. If one of the things you're looking for is, I don't know, a new relationship or some type of betterment to your present relationship, you could do a little love spell, like not a love spell on a person, but like to bring love or to work with love or to enhance your relationship or to just be in a state of love more easily so that you align with it. And do that one day and have a little grid for it, have a little candle you keep burning, but focus on the other project, let's say. And I don't mean to say, we should do that for love and then like focus on the other one, but use your discretion and know that there are other ways that you can get things done where you don't have to cut yourself in half or divide your resources necessarily. And the outcome is like the star. Again, another, doesn't matter if it's upside down kind of looking one, although it was right side up. Perfection. Joy. Experiences. Being seen, being still, being yourself, being authentic. Reaching the desire, reaching the fulfillment, having that star be born or being born from the star. So again, your message is just that you do have every tool. Maybe you're not using every tool. If you have all your hands on all these projects, delegate some of the work to someone. Maybe get an intern. Maybe, work with someone in some way so that you don't have to have your resources so drained. And don't forget to call on your guides. They want to help you. They don't want to see you stressed out. All right. And then the other oracle cards here, New Moon and Promise, and Childhood and Innocence. New Moon, planting seeds, making wishes, releasing so that we have more room. So you have to let go of something perhaps so that you can take in something else. And perhaps the childhood or innocence card ties back to your childhood in a time where you felt like you had to do everything. Perhaps you had a narcissistic parent or individual in your life that made you feel like you had to walk on eggshells, or that you couldn't ask for help, or when you did ask for help, it would just be looked at as some kind of weakness again. But it's time to release if that is there. And know that you have such a team. Sometimes the message I'm kind of getting is sometimes we look to our parents as the individuals who should be supporting us. And I could see that, I'm a mom. I could see why that would be like what we think, right? However, that can make us feel victimized sometimes, or victim to circumstance rather. Well, my mom was kind of mean. My dad was really stressed out. My dad and my mom weren't a good match, right? Like all of this kind of stuff. So when I went to them for something or I asked for help, I didn't get it most of the time. I have very clear memories of not getting it. And as an adult, I can see them as just people who had their own screwed up lives going on. But also that I have these archetypal parents, cosmic father, mother matter, who I can connect with and be a child of and acknowledge that I'm a child of and feel full and feel blessed and know that I just have to ask. There's a free will involved here. All right. The fuzzy prism card is bleed, and it's a really cool picture, like a head. I'm sorry you can't see it, but it's a cool picture. This is allowing yourself to feel. This is allowing yourself to be human. This is allowing people to see us as vulnerable, or see that we don't have it all together all the time, or we're really trying, but like how can one person have it all together all the time? To bond over those battle wounds, Just to remember, like, it's okay to ask for help. And most of the time when we do ask for help, whether it's our spirit guides, whether we're trying to bring in an intern or something, or we ask for help at work, or more help from our partners or something, it's okay to ask for help and be human and be vulnerable and let people see that you bleed too. That you had a messed up childhood too. Not that that's necessarily what's going to have to come up, but it's just an example that we're all human, or whatever this is. And asking for help is not a weakness. And even if it's not asking for help, but it's more of setting up a grid, letting something do the work for you. Do more candle rituals. Put the energy into the candle, then burn it, and not feel distracted. Like, oh, I got to keep going back to that. Oh, but I got to keep the pot going. I got to keep going with this. It's like delegate. There's some kind of delegation there. All right, well, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it served you in some way and that you got the message that you needed or that your soul needed to hear at this time. I send you so much love and appreciation and gratitude for being here today and joining me and letting me be a little piece of your path. Thank you, patrons. Oh my gosh, you guys are the best. Tingles supporters, those who have subscribed through my website to my Vimeo videos. Thank you guys. It's such a treat to create those. And thanks to everyone for your patience while I'm in this state of flux. I know I keep saying it, but I just need to let you know how appreciative I am because it is quite challenging for me. It's great, but it's challenging. You know, it's like good, but it's challenging. So I'm just doing my best. I'm not moving until basically mid-July. It's a complicated story, essentially, but I'm here in New York for until about mid-July or so, maybe early July, but we'll see what my appointments look like at that point. Anyway, thank you so much again. I send you so much love and appreciation and just all the blessings, right? From the bottom of my heart, as always, namaste.